Have you ever been so nervous for something that you couldn't eat for days beforehand? Or been surprised to suddenly find your heart pounding in your chest even though you're just sitting there? Yeah, me too. My name's Reba. I'm not a doctor or a therapist. I'm just a normal person like you. And I've been living with an anxiety disorder for over 15 years. So I know what it's like to have a panic attack show up at the worst possible moment. The racing heart and the lightheadedness and the terrible digestive issues. Anxious people know what I'm talking about. I also know it's hard to know where to get started when you're ready to get help. I wanted to make a resource that made things easy and feel comfortable for mental health beginners. And that's why I wrote Get Thee to a Therapist. Because managing your mental health when your mental health is in a bad place is already stressful. The last thing you need is the world assuming you already know the difference between an HMO, PPO, CBT, LMFT. I experienced my first panic attack when I was in college. I was in class taking a big test, and suddenly I could feel my heart beating in my ears, and I got sweaty and I started hyperventilating, and I felt this horrible sense of impending doom. It terrified me. At that point, I had never heard of mental health. I didn't know about anxiety or depression because no one ever talked about it. But there I was, 20 years old, and I had to figure out how to find a therapist, make an appointment, find a psychiatrist, and start an antidepressant. It was a huge learning curve at a time when I was basically still a kid. Today, I've got this mental health thing down, and I love talking about it. I want to give people the kind of resources I desperately needed when I was younger. But I'm not a doctor. I'm an actor. So when it comes to the medical and legal stuff, I'm leaning on psychiatrists, therapists, nurses, and lawyers. I've interviewed a ton of people. But my superpower is transforming that information into something easy and entertaining. And I think making mental health part of entertainment makes it part of the conversation. And it's time we all started talking about mental health. Get Thee to a Therapist is a survival guide with all the information you need to start managing your mental health. I want to be your cheerleader as you embark on your own mental health journey. So let's get you on the path to getting well, and let's get thee to a therapist.